Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And today we'll do a little bit shorter practice. And what we'll try to fit in is, really trying to get into all the parts of the body and getting ready for the day. So let's just start lying on the floor a little bit in an X position. And see if you can stretch through one leg, maybe press into the heel, and then release that. Stretch into the other heel, release that. Stretch through the fingertips of one arm, release that. Stretch to another arm, release that. And then see if you can press the pelvis down, trying to extend through the tailbone a little bit. Release that. And then see if you can just wiggle the head a little bit, maybe a little bit of circling in the head, and release that. And then lift, say, your right leg and your left arm off. See if you can find that diagonal stretch through there. And drop that down. Then opposite leg, so the left leg, right arm. Drop that down. And then we'll just do each side. So see if you can extend through the right foot and the right fingertip, and release that. And extend through the left toe and the left fingertip, and release that. And then see if you can start to press the abdominals down. I'm going to have to show you with my hands. So you start to press through the core here, and as you do, your elbows and your knees start to come together, and you bring the tail and the head, elbows to the knee, up, and then slowly extend that long. It doesn't have to be quite the X, it's just kind of a gentle X. And then again, start really into those abdominals, so into that core, and then bring the elbows towards the knees, so you're also rounding the spine here. See if you can feel that core support. And then extend it long again. And then one more, starting at the core, bring those knees to the elbows. And then this time when you come down, just bring the feet down. And then you can have the arms next to you or under your head if you'd like. And then we'll inhale the knees into the chest. Extend through the heels. Exhale, bend the knees to the chest. Bring the feet down. Inhale the knees in, extend through the heels. Exhale, knees touch the chest, feet on the floor. So we're just concentrating on waking up those abdominals. Because supporting for more core throughout the day, or reminding ourselves later in the day, if that's when you're practicing, to use your core support is really going to help your back, keep your back and your spine healthy. Now the next time you bring the knees in, extend the left leg up and the right leg, hovering it, and then bend the knees in. And of course you can do less, you can do a smaller relationship between the feet. You can actually have a little play with it and maybe find your sweet spot in it. So we're just trying to stay sort of in that right angle, but hover the heel off the floor. That gives you a little bit more abdominal experience. And then do one more on each side. And then we'll just do 2 more like the original. And then you can press the heels and just shake out the pelvis there. And then take your fingers under your head and see if you can use your thumb if you want to really press the base of the skull just to get some length in that neck and the shoulders. And then see if you can cross the legs over and come up sitting that way. See what happens when you try that. We can try that a couple of times. So you'll just roll the back. You have the legs crossed. You can bring your arms next to you using that core. Come up. We'll just do it a couple of times. And it's also kind of rolling through your spine a little bit. Coming up, sitting on your sit bone. And of course, we should do the other side. So cross the leg at the other side. See if you can find that core lift up sitting. And then one more. And since you're sitting here, see if we can just try one of the boat poses. Now that we've warmed up the abdominals, see if you can cup your hands under your thigh and then slowly extend the legs. If you need to keep the knees bent, you can stay there and you can really use those arms to open the chest, lift the chest up. If you can straighten the legs, see if you can straighten the legs. If you want to go a little further, you can release the arm. And then slowly release down. And then, since we're sitting, we'll just do a few sort of shoulder openers. Let's interlock those fingers in front of us. Do a little vinyasa. And we'll even it out. We'll do it twice and then we'll change the crossover of the legs and do it twice. If this is uncomfortable to sit this way, you can sit on your feet, you can sit on a block. So we're going to inhale those palms forward. Exhale the arms up. Now if you can only go here, you don't have to go all the way up. It just depends on your shoulders. Then exhale the arms down and you're going to interlock the fingers behind you, bringing a stretch through the front. And then inhale, hands to the front, exhale here. Change your crossover. Inhale the arms up, press forward. Inhale overhead. Press the arms behind you. Interlock behind you. Inhale in front. Exhale, bring the hands back. Then you'll just lift the knees up and cross over on the other side, or whichever way you're sitting. If you're sitting on your legs, you can just stay there. And then again, inhale, the elbows up, crossing the fingers over. Exhale, bring the palms forward, shoulder height. Then inhale, overhead. Exhale behind, interlock behind, front, exhale in front, and bring it back in, inhale, exhale. One more side, inhale, exhale in the front, inhale overhead, exhale the arms down, inhale behind, exhale in front, inhale, exhale, and then come into all fours and see if you can really open the fingers so that you can press them on your mat. And when you press the hands, you want to see those inner elbows face each other and not splaying out. So that when you press the hands, you can really engage the triceps into the bone, the biceps up towards the shoulders. And that's going to really connect into the shoulder blades. And we'll do a little bit of cat and dog. So we'll round the spine into cat tilt. Inhale to dog. Exhale, round it into cat. Inhale to dog. Exhale, round it into cat. Inhale to dog. Next time you go into cat, you can do a little bit of swishing back and forth. Inhale, coming back into dog tilt. And here you can do a little swishing back and forth like you're wagging the tail, wagging the head. Round and then again. And again, swish the tail and the head. And then coming back into dog tilt, and you can swish the head and the tail. And then tuck those toes under. Really press through the hands and the arms as you extend through the legs. See if you can really lift front thighs so that you've got that extension through the side body, sideways, all the way through the shoulders into the hands. Come down and go into big toes together, knees wide. Inhale up, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Knees down, go into big toes together, knees wide. And then come up to all fours and just swing that right foot between the hands. We're just going to do just a little bit of a lunge. And if you're balanced, you can bring the arms up, coming into just like a warrior lunge. You can also interlock fingers here and lift them up. And then bring the hands behind and really lift the shoulders up here. And then bring the hands back on the front thigh. Hands down next to that foot. Swing that leg back. And then swing the left leg between your hands. Come up into that lunge. Better do what I did on the other side, which was first just lifting the arms up. Then it was interlock the fingers to the opposite side. Inhale up. Then bring behind and really extend through the arms and the back. And then bring the hands down. Swing that leg back. And then come into a downward facing dog again. And this time you're going to lift the right leg into three-legged dog. Try to keep the hips even. We're not opening up like this. We're trying to keep the hips as even as you can. Then you're going to bend the leg and put it between the hands. So now you are, you're extended through that back leg, bending the front leg. You can put the hands on the thigh to start with. Then again, interlock the fingers, press them forward. Inhale, come up. And then exhale the arms behind. And if you can start to bring the forehead towards the knee. Get more stretch through the shoulders. Then from here, you can release the arms and put the hands down and bring that right leg back into three-legged dog. And then come down into downward facing. And then inhale that left leg up. Bend the knee. Bring it into between the hands. Really press through both feet to give you that stability. Then bring the hands up on the thigh. Then interlock the fingers. Inhale the arms up. And then bring them behind. And if you can lean forward or bring the forehead towards the knee, you can get more in the shoulders. And then release the hands down. Take the left foot back into three-legged dog. And then bring that foot down. And if you're okay to stay in downward dog, you can stay here. If you need to rest, you go into big toes together, knees wide. So it all depends on if you find downward dog restful. So. And then inhale, the right leg up again. Bend it between the hands. And then place that foot down. And you're going to come into Parsvakonasana. And bring the top arm up, if you can do that. And then see if you can interlock the arms behind you. Still stay in the pose. And get that stretch through the backs of the shoulders. Then bring the forearm onto the thigh. And then pivot around. And bring that right leg through three-legged dog. And then downward facing. Inhale that left leg up, bending the knee, bring it between the hands, placing the right heel down, coming into Parsvakonasana. And then you can bring the arms behind and keep the body to the side there. And release the arms, hands down. Bring that foot into three-legged dog and come into downward facing. And then see if you can walk the hands and feet towards each other. And then I'm coming in this way so that your legs wide. And then see if you can interlock the hands behind you and come forward with the shoulders. You can do a bit of rolling in those shoulders. And change the crossover. And release the hands. And you can, make the legs come closer together. And then we'll do full Gomukhasana. So if you have something you want to sit on, you can. If not, I'll show you the full pose, but you can do the variations and sit on the block. So I'm going to come into all fours. I'm going to lift up my right leg. I'm going to cross it behind my left, and then I'm going to go back and sit on my left foot. Now, if you have trouble with your hips, you can sit on a cushion, you can sit on a bolster, you can sit on blankets, you can sit on a block. So I'm just going to sit here for a few seconds to let my body get used to it. And then we always take the opposite arm up. So you take the knee that's on top, you take that hand, put it between the shoulders. Inhale the other arm up. And try not to distort the neck. And then release the arms. And then bring the hands forward and lift that leg up again, coming back into all fours. Then take the left leg, lift it up, come over the other leg, and then you'll sit on that foot so the right knee is on top. Again, you might need support because it can be a bit uncomfortable. Depends on the top of your foot. You might, and the opening in your hips. So now it'll be the opposite arms. So you take the arm that's the same as the top knee behind you. Inhale the opposite arm up. If you can't get the fingers, that's okay. Just try to keep the length through the elbow up to the ceiling without distorting your head forward or back. Keeping length in that neck. And on your body today, you can have feet up the wall a little bit, or you can just slowly roll down spine and come into Shavasana. So any practice that we have, Shavasana is always a good idea, even if it's short, even if you can only take a couple of minutes. But it's important to allow whatever movements and experiences you've been having in the practice, letting it saturate your body, just letting the body learn from that experience and absorb the shifts that might have happened.
See if you can allow whatever is touching the floor on your body just sink deeply into gravity, into the floor, into the mat. And since we started a little bit like this, we'll practice this a little bit. Take your right leg, I'm just demonstrating with my arm, and really lift it up off the floor, extend it, tense it up, and then just let it soften, drop into the floor. So just a little smidge off the floor. And then take your left leg and extend through it. Find that tension. And then just exhale, let it drop to the floor. And then take the right arm and make a fist and really tense that up. And then let it drop to the floor. Take the left arm, tense through it, make a fist, and then let it drop to the floor. And then see if you can just really bring everything into the center a little bit like we did before, really tense into the core, and then let everything soften out. And then see if you can really tense the shoulders up to your ears and let them drop. And then tense everything in your face towards your nose, and then open it the opposite way, and then release. And then if there's any place else that feels a little bit unsettled, you can just tense in that area and let it go. And see if you can notice the breath at your nostrils. And as you inhale, the cool air comes in. And as you exhale, the warm air moves out. And then slowly begin to deepen your breath, finding a bit of movement through your fingers and toes. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch, and then you can slowly roll to your right side. And then in your own time, coming up to sitting. Remember, anywhere you are, you can take a little tense in the body and release it. You can do it subtly. You can just do a fist and then release. So if you're feeling a bit of tension, you can do that anywhere you are. And namaste, and have a great day.